now what we're going to do is introduce our featured speaker tonight, who is a new, very good friend of mine that I've just known for the last few months. And ironically, she only lives a couple miles from me, and we never met. And we've lived on the same island forever. She's lived here her whole life. Anyway, her name is Pam Johnson, and she's a psychic medium who was her husband was also a medium, and he passed away about a year ago. And immediately he came back to her and the people in her clients and so forth, and in her Facebook groups. And so the thing that's really cool about Pam and Alan is they really are the real deal. And Alan has met so many of her people and talked to them and appeared to them. And literally for me, within 6 days of knowing Pam is when I got to feel Alan for the first time. And what was really cool also is I was wondering, like, am I going to, or will I ever hear from him or hear him? And the next day, a friend was asking a question. And it was a question about her marriage. And all of a sudden, Alan popped in. Like literally, Alan gave me the answer for this lady. And it was so amazing because I'm like, there he is. And I told her, I'm like, wow. Like, and so I actually knew then. It's like, okay, well, you know, call Pam and they'll give you the rest of the information. But in meeting Pam, she's so genuine, and what her and Alan really want to do is just teach love, unconditional love, and that we are all our own mediums, that we don't have to go and pay a medium to do the work. We all have these capabilities. We just need to, you know, open up to them and get rid of all the blocks that we have created to love and to hearing our loved ones from the other side. So that Pam will be talking about tonight. But before we do that, she's going to lead us in a little meditation or something to calm us all down and connect us together.
Calm you all down. You down.
Yeah, calm me down.
Calm you down.
Thank you for being here, Pam. I'm really glad that you're here.
Thank you. Thank you. I have to see what this guy wants to do, but he's all right. Hold on. But yeah, thanks for that great introduction. I'll talk more about, of course, our story, but what we want to do, I'm waiting to hear. All right, Alan, because we are talking about, he's saying interdimensional communication, which it is, right? They're in another dimension. He says he wants to, if people are in agreement, and this is all only if you're in agreement, everything's by agreement. If you say, I don't want that, it's not going to happen, because this is a free will universe. So if you don't, what I described, you say, I don't want that, won't happen. He just wants to kind of open the doorway to your interdimensional communication with your loved ones, if that's what you want, or your team, if that's what you want, or your guide, if that's what you want, because he seems to be really able to facilitate that. He told me that when we started doing readings. So he'd tell people, I'm going to organize your spirit team. And I'd say, they need that done? He'd say yes with certain people. And I later got feedback from people that said, yeah, you know, he really started out my team. Like, I didn't know they were not in coherence. And so, but all right, now he's saying there are many people here who are mediums and some who don't know they're mediums, but he wants to give you experience of that. And later, after my talk, he wants to do a soul integration. It's his idea. He just wants to help people become more, again, coherent, more less distorted. And he says some of you will have perhaps a profound experience. Some of you might not feel anything, but he's going to continue to work with you if that's what you want. Again, it's all an agreement. So if you say, this is weird, I don't want that, don't worry, it's not going to happen. You're in control of it. This is always our intention. Thing is done to you that you don't want. So what I'd like you to do is close your eyes. Let me see. Close your eyes for a moment and set your intention to ground. to Mother Earth. And I'm what I'm feeling, okay, he's showing, we're dropping a weight like to the center of the earth, like your energy, grounding to the center of the earth. And he's going to assist you to really ground, because some of you don't know how to do that. You keep trying and you don't know how to do that. He wants to help you do that. So just ground again using your intention. You can visualize a rope, a chain, a cord, a pipe, whatever you want, connecting you to the earth. It doesn't matter. All that matters is your intention. Take a deep breath in and release any and all energies that do not serve you, that do not belong to you, right? That you're ready to release. Just let it all go. Let go of your worries, your concerns, your cares. Let go of other people's problems. Let go of everything that worries you about the world. Just let it all go. Take another deep breath in. Breathe out and release again. And this time, take a breath in and bring up the earth energy up into the bottoms of your feet. Bring that energy up into your body and let it go all the way up to the top of your head, and fill yourself up with the healing energy of Mother Earth. We're going to spend more time grounding. And now he's showing me to focus on your heart and see, feel, or imagine a beautiful golden light. It might look like a spark. It might look like a candle. It might look like a roaring fire. Whatever it is that you see, that's your light. And using again the power of your intention, you're going to ignite that light further to have it explode. The particles of light fill your body. And this light, this beautiful light, is your soul. And allow the particles of light to fill your entire body from the tips of your toes to the top of your head. Let the light flow through your hands. Let that light fountain out of your hands, to the palms of your hands, to your fingers. Let that light fountain out of the top of your head that pours into your aura. Let that light fill you up with your divine essence that is your soul, your true self. And as we do that, if it is your agreement to do this, to participate, invite in a loved one on the other side or a guide to be with you today, tonight. And if not, just sit with this energy. We'd like you to feel, to imagine love from the divine source and from your loved ones on your side. Pour into your heart, fill you up, blend with your soul. Just sit with that for a while. And focus once more on your heart. And in your heart space, ask for a message, if you would like one, from your higher self, from your team, from your loved one, wherever it might be. And let that message surface easily, effortlessly. Just trust it. You might hear words, you might see an image, you might get a feeling, you might get a knowing. Whatever it is, it's perfect. Just as you are perfect. All right. Now let's focusing on gratitude and love for all of creation. Let's begin to bring ourselves back into our bodies. Making sure you're well grounded again. Ellen's going to make sure you're grounded. Some of you go float way up there, just like he used to do. I'm going to bring you back stronger, bring you back clearer, bring you back more filled with love and light, so that you can be who you really are. So if you need to, rub your hands together to just make contact with your body and say, I'm here, I'm back. All right.
Thank you so much. Wow.
I hope that helped.
I needed that.
Now Alan says, now we got to explain who he is. So, you know, like, what did I just get myself into? with this,
Explain who
with
Alan
this guy.
is.
Right. With this guy. Who did I just open up to? This guy. So so it's my turn, right? Let me tell my
It is
story.
your turn to explain
In
who
a
Alan
nutshell,
is.
in a nutshell, yes. So yes, Alan was, I'm going to say was, but is a psychic medium. And he crossed over on his birthday, his 83rd birthday. He died on his birthday. And he chose that day. He chose it to make a statement, say, we choose our exit. We always do, no exception, even if it looks like we didn't. This is we did. We have many exit points, but he chose that one. I didn't know that he intended to come back and be with me. We never discussed it. He didn't like to talk about death, mainly because he didn't like to think about being without me. And not that he was afraid to die. He wasn't worried about that. He didn't want to be without me. He wanted to be the one to go first. So when he crossed, wasn't expecting it, immediately started communicating to friends, because I have friends who are mediums, and one of them sees him. She actually sees Alan clairvoyantly. And he just said, I'm back. I'm going to work with, we're going to resume our marriage like nothing's changed. Well, everything's changed actually, but I want a second chance at making it up to you, because I got to the other side and realized that I really blew it. I didn't love you the way that you deserve to be loved, and you believe that I didn't love you. You didn't believe that, you know, that I really cared. And he says, and I realized that I didn't. I was very neglectful and I was unappreciative. So that was one part. The other part, this is the part that blew my mind. He said, we have work to do. And my friend Swati, who can see Alan, was the first person who said to me, well, yeah, you have an agreement to serve, to work, to do healing, teaching. And by the way, Alan is an archangel. And I said, what are you talking about? Like, people can't be archangels. And she explained to me that archangel is really a job description. It's not some higher elevated being. It's a job description, because we are actually all God, creator, in, you know, in thinking that we're separate. We're all creators, and we're everything. So we can be angels, we can be elementals, we can be a rock, we can be anything. in all of creation. We're everything. He showed me like we're the all and we're the sum, the parts. We're like all of it. We're not just limited to being human, in other words. So there are people in a body, and I've since met other people who are also archangels and other people who've told me the same thing. Yes, it's a job description. Yes, there are many archangels walking the earth. Yes, there are many ascended beings walking the earth. There are many of everything walking the earth and here to serve. And many enlightened beings are here doing the work. They're not usually the teachers. They can be actually a drug addict on a street who's here to teach compassion. You just don't know. So, and I knew that already. I knew that because my guides told me that 34 years ago when I opened up, I had a spiritually transformative experience. And I went to this major opening, couldn't work for a year. And my whole world was turned upside down. And that's how I met Alan. But so I knew all that from my guides because they were my teachers. Because back in '87, at least in Honolulu, there weren't that many teachers. There was just one person whose class I went to, and he couldn't really teach me anything. I didn't resonate with him. So I didn't have a teacher, and my guides were the ones that came through. Really, it was through my channeling, learning to channel and talking to my guides. So that's how I opened up. That's how I met Alan. And when he came back and he said, we're going to work together. And yes, I'm an archangel. And yes, by the way, so are you. And you're going to open up to your abilities in time, not immediately. And then he explained to me all the things that I had never understood that I was able to do from the beginning when I had my awakening, because there were strange things that I was able to do. And visions that I had, and I don't think even Shaun knows this necessarily, but I was shown things that I did, healings that I did, and just really weird things. Like I'd hold my hand in front of somebody and do something, and they'd have a clearing. They'd like all the entities would clear up, and I'd go, "Why is my hand doing this? I don't know why my hand's doing this." Or in a vision, I was shown of activating people that scared me because this being came through my body like through a tube. And I wasn't disturbed by it. It felt very familiar, whoever it was that came through this tube. And I pulled out of my body and went up there. And I saw myself down there. And I saw myself activating people with my finger. And it scared me only because it was so powerful. So, and I wasn't ready for it. Alan only the other day told me, "Babe, that was me." I said, "What?" "That was me." Because we're working together as a team, and you have to be the one in the body and grounded, and I'm up there. So he's like the alchemist. He's like the spiritual alchemist who's up there on the other side, and I have to be really grounded. And I never understood why I wasn't as traditionally psychic as he was. I was always really grounded, interested in healing. He was the one that was always interested in going out of body and the extraterrestrials and really everything that was more celestial. Like he was really always out there. And I was more concerned with the here and now and very practical and very grounded, but yet very tuned in to spirit. So I recently have come to understand that I had to be the one that stayed behind because I'm stronger, because of my groundedness, because I understand the other side and I understand the physical world. He didn't understand the physical world that much. I mean, he did and he didn't, but he was like in his own little world. And I wasn't. I was of this world, and yet I wasn't undone by it. I wasn't traumatized by it, which also was interesting to me because Alan had PTSD from growing up during World War II in England, in London, when the bombs were falling because he's older. And I grew up in Hawaii on top of a hill overlooking the Pacific Ocean in a house that, while it wasn't luxurious, didn't have a key because we lived at the time in a neighborhood that you didn't have to lock your door back then. And so I lived in relative comfort, again, not luxurious, like middle-class comfort, overlooking the ocean, beautiful view, very simple house. He lived in slums of London with bombs falling on his head and traumatized because he was seeing spirit from a young age. I never saw spirit. That's another thing. Never saw spirit, never had weird experiences. a very ordinary childhood, very happy childhood. We were so different. But he said to me, Pam, you had to be the one that was just solid. Like you didn't have any major problems. You earned that. You did that through other lifetimes. You evolved. And I remembered being told by several psychics that I had had past lives as a guru, as an enlightened person, and that I knew that it was kind of not what it was cracked up to be. And I actually didn't want anybody to follow me, if anything. And I would actually kind of recoil because people would start to follow me from when I opened up. I had people showing up and saying, I know you're my teacher. And I'd go, I can't be your teacher, not me. But they would come to me, and sure, soon enough, I started getting students. They just started finding me. And I know that that's how the universe puts you on your path, that you find out right away if that's your calling, that people like this, they show up. So when Alan passed and he said he was going to work with me, I said, great. And he wanted to do that, especially because I lost his pension income. So I was soon not going to have much money because we're blowing through our savings that I had, used up because of him having dementia, and I couldn't work and he couldn't work. So he says, I'm going to support you. So we're good. Let's do readings. So I said, all right, but I hate doing readings. I never liked readings. I'm a healer. I'm a teacher. No, you're going to love this. You're going to love this. I promise you. He showed me love in capital letters, LOVE. And I said, oh, God, okay, fine. Because he had a point. Like, how am I going to earn money, right? But I didn't like doing readings. He said, I would love it. He says, I promise you, if you don't like it, you can quit. So I said, all right, but nobody's called you for readings for 2 years because you have had dementia before you passed away. He said, no problem. Within 12 hours, somebody called us for a reading. All right, this girl called up and said, I've had readings with Alan before. I'd like another reading. And I had to tell her that he had passed away, but that he was working through me. And she thought that was really cool. She's a young girl. She goes, that sounds really cool. I'm in. When can I have my reading? Next day we do the reading. The reading was so terrible because she wouldn't listen. And I'm writing it in our book. It was hilarious. She wouldn't listen. She was like, yakety, 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 yak. He's getting upset. He's getting upset. And I can feel it. I could feel it. It's like, oh God, I know my husband. He doesn't like it when his clients don't listen. He doesn't like it if I don't listen. But clients, he wants to help. So if you're not listening, he is frustrated because I know I can help them and I need to give them this information. So he got really upset and told me finally that I had to get her attention by swearing at her. And I said, I can't do that. No, you're going to have to swear at her because she's not listening. I bet you she won't listen even if you swear at her. No, I can't do that. I don't do that. He goes, yeah, you have to do something. I'm gonna, I could feel this agitation. All right. So I said to her, I won't even say what I said to her, but basically shut the blank up, right? Like shut up. And it just went right over her head. She just kept talking. And he said, see, I told you. See, you're going to have to do something. So I just got louder and I said, hey, Annie, you've got to be quiet now. Okay. And she stopped for a little while and we got to talk a bit. And the reading kind of went on like that, bits and pieces, and got most of what's important in there. But at the end of it, she hung up, we hung up. And he goes, well, what did you think? And I started laughing. I just laughed. I literally was falling over laughing. I said, this is so hilarious. This is you. I know this is you because I can feel it. I hear you. I can feel you. This is you, right? He says, of course it's me. So what do you think? I said, okay, I'm in. How are we going to get clients now? That was one client, one call. How are we going to get clients? You're not on social media. You never were into social media. You don't have an email list. Like, how are we going to get your clients back? It's okay. I had you start that Facebook group, right? I go, yeah, but there's only 140 people or something in it. He goes, so just tell them you're doing readings now. It can't be that simple, Alan. It is. Just tell them. I promise you. All right. I put an announcement. We're doing readings. Here's the link. Really, that's it. No sales page, nothing that. Here, we're doing readings. Here's the link, guys. if you're interested, call us, book, whatever, not call us, book online. I had a booking platform already set up that it had before. So within 12 hours, we had 17 readings. Within 3 weeks, we had 57 people on a wait list. By 2 or 3 months later, we had done 150 readings. And he had, he started supporting me through the readings, and I was having a lot of fun. And I was grieving, guys. 3 weeks after he died, I'm doing readings, like 2 a day, 4 days a week. So that's 8 readings a week, hour readings, which is a lot if you're grieving. And he was putting me to work, and I was putting him to work, and it was great because I could feel him come in. People would say, I can always feel the angels, and I feel Alan when he comes in. I feel tingling, and I was learning about what he could do because he started telling people things like you can call on me anytime. This is the reading that never ends, because once you call on me, I'm always with you, and I'll work with you. I'll help you. Some people ran with that, literally ran with that, and started saying, yeah, he's guiding me and he's helped me with this and that and the other. Other people, a little more tentative, and just incredible things started to happen. One gal asked us to go help her friend who was in a coma. And I remember saying, okay, I just said, okay, of course I said, okay. And I didn't know it, but a few months later, she messaged me and said all these text messages she got from her friend who woke up from the coma, who saw us, who said, without her telling what she had done, that she had asked us to help. He said, I saw a woman named Pamela, who's from Hawaii. Because I saw a layer around her neck. Her husband, Alan, died in August on his birthday. And Alan was here too in a gray suit, which, by the way, Alan owns a gray suit. And he has shown up in hospitals in that gray suit before then and since then. People have seen him clairvoyantly in a hospital. And he said he said that I was a soul and body healer, very powerful soul and body healer, and that I was praying over him. That I apparently was the one that was more the healer, the body healer. But although I absolutely do the soul healing too, but Alan was more the alchemist. Now he didn't say that. I was told that later by others, that he's more up there, right? So and this man also has said recently that Alan comes to visit him. He sits and talks to him, and that sometimes I sit and talk with him. I don't remember being there. I don't remember talking with him, but he remembers me. He remembers what I'm saying. Alan said that wherever he goes, I am going there with him, and that I'm also talking to people, working on them, but that I don't have the memory of that. And the reason this can happen is because all of us are multidimensional. So we can be in many different places. We just don't remember it. But when you're on the other side, you do remember it. You know who you are. You can go wherever you want to go and be with millions of people. But we can't do that because we could do it, but we're not going to remember it because we're focused in our bodies. So these things were happening. And I was dealing with grief. I was dealing with resentment and anger because of our marriage. And so it was a roller coaster. But it was so evident to me that, okay, he's here, he's real, because these people are giving me feedback, like the person in the coma, who, by the way, he said that I think it was, I told him, you're healed of your terminal kidney cancer, but don't listen to the doctors because they're just going to, program you with negativity. And apparently he was healed of that cancer. He eventually caught COVID. That's a whole other thing. He did recover from COVID, okay, with Alan's help, but he's now still in the hospital. And Alan has been trying really hard to get him transferred to a different hospital because the hospital he's been in is not really suitable for what his current condition is. I can't remember what the current problem is, but this just points to the kind of highlights the limitations that even angels or the other side has, because they're still dependent upon getting humans to listen and take action. Because Alan's been known to go up and down hospital corridors trying to get the doctors to listen to him, to say, hey, think, do this, look at this, check this out for the patient. That's what he's done. And if they're not open, if they're stressed, they're not willing to hear, he can't do that because he can only do what he can do. And so he's been frustrated. He's been talking to me about it. There's not much I can do really, because he said they're not going to listen to me. Like if I call them up and say, "Hey, you got to move this guy," who am I, right? But that's why he's trying to influence them by giving them the message. The doctor will come to the realization, which he usually can do. This is how spirit works, everybody. They are always nudging us, trying to give us ideas, trying to guide us, whether it's the doctor in the hospital with somebody or whoever. So he was showing me all this, and people were giving me all these stories of how he was showing up before the reading in their house. They saw him. And then they'd have the reading. They said, yeah, Alan was here and he told me this. And I said, what? I mean, all this is happening to me, right? And I'm going, okay, is this really real? But he was, in his wisdom, so smart because he set everything up. He knew that I'd have my friends who could see him. He knew that if he asked me to create the group, that the group would start having experiences of Alan, to also give me feedback, to say, yes, he helped me. I called on him for this problem and he helped me. And or I saw him and he healed me. So he's now saying, I set it up because I knew you'd need proof, not only you, but the world. And that, we're taking this story and putting it in a book which will have much more than what I've just shared with you, to really explain to people of what's really about, what reality really is, and how the other side has always been here and how they've been helping us and want to come through to us, he says, right now more than ever, because of everything that's happening in the world. And he says the world really needs love right now. Okay, I mean, he says that's what's needed, because people think the solution is, how could he put it? He says, because people don't know how really to love themselves and love others unconditionally, they know that that's the ideal. They know that that's what they want and need. We all know that, right? But then it comes back to, well, how do I do that? Okay, I don't know how to do that. Oh, well, I'll go do something else, right? Because if you don't know how to do that, what are you going to do? You're going to give up. He said, but the other side, if you connect with them like he connected with me, their love can transform you. That's what his love did for me. Because remember, he wasn't loving me unconditionally when he was in a body. We had a good relationship, like a lot of couples have basically good relationship, but underneath it all, they're not really connecting. They're not really loving each other unconditionally, and they're not really even alive in their reality. Like they're just coasting. They're just, I'm saying they're phoning it in, like they like to say. I'm phoning it in. I'm not really participating. I'm just skating through my life. I'm not fully engaged. Alan wasn't fully engaged with his life or with me. And then neither was I, because he wasn't. So we weren't really alive and just playing it safe. Just really, he says, taking the easy road and but missing out on being alive and really loving each other and loving others. Okay, and therefore not being in our power. So when he got to the other side and realized he missed the boat up with everything, not just me, but his life, he says, I want to teach about love, and the world needs that right now. And the other side can give that to us, not just a partner or a spouse, but also, a child, a parent, a sibling, a friend, because when they cross over, they are unconditional love. Are they all perfect? He says, no. Some of them, though, are very evolved, some of them not so, but they all now are in just love, the personification and embodiment of love. And they all want to love us. So if we let them in, that love can heal us and transform us. He has brought me back to life. I wasn't alive. Really, I wasn't alive. I was like, I thought I was happy, but I was just, he's saying I was just not unhappy. There's a big difference. Saying you're not unhappy doesn't mean you're happy. just means you're kind of just da, 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 in your life. And now, because he opened me up emotionally and really showed me what unconditional love is, I just I a lot of times I just can't stop smiling. I just feel just lit up. And I know what love is now for myself and others. And he says that that's what he wants to teach other people. So we've started to do that a bit in our group. A couple of people have, one good friend has she's made contact with her husband who passed away, and Alan is helping me work on seeing him like he wants. He says I will see him in 3-dimensional form. Right now, I'm practicing lucid dreaming, which is another way into that. But I do see him clairvoyantly in my mind's eye, and he says I see him accurately. But he wants me to see him more tangibly. He told me that I'd be doing that at some point. He couldn't say when. And another psychic told me the same thing. She said, you are going to see him that way. And later you can teach others how to do that. But first it has to be like me. So he says he's going to make that happen, but I have to work on raising my vibration. This is true for all of us who want this type of connection, because you have to match their energy. It doesn't mean you have to be perfect, because while we're in a body, nobody is perfect. That's just how it is. But you at least have to be able to love yourself unconditionally and love them unconditionally, right? And be loved unconditionally. That's what I didn't understand. I said, well, I have to be loved unconditionally. He says, yes, so that you know what it feels like that you're loved by someone else, not just yourself. There's the 3 parts to that. I didn't know that. I thought maybe it was just like loving yourself and you loving someone else, right? And he says, that's good. That's a good, really good. That's great. Most people don't even have that. He said, but the ultimate is to be loved by someone unconditionally as well. So those 3. And that 3rd part you can't create for yourself, because you can't make somebody love you unconditionally. How do you do that? He says that's where the other side comes in, because they do love us unconditionally. And Alan's saying he loves people unconditionally. People have told me they have felt his love, which is different from, let's say, Archangel Michael, who Alan also connected with when he was in a body. He would see Archangel Michael, which kind of made sense after he passed, that he had a connection to the archangels. But it's a different kind of love from Archangel Michael, who wasn't just recently in a body and therefore have that more of that human essence, that human energy, right? That you and I would relate to. So people have told me that they have felt Alan's love and care in a powerful way. So that too can ignite your self-love. He says that once people really do feel that unconditional love, then they become empowered. Then their soul, which is already there, right? You've got your soul's awakened, let's say. Now you can really achieve miracles, because it's all about love. It's not about what you know. That's a small part of it. It's your being. Are you the love that you truly are, that created you? Are you resonating that? Doesn't mean your life isn't going to have problems. Doesn't mean you're not going to get upset or have a bad day. But you have that foundation. You have that knowing that you're loved and no one can threaten that, and that you're choosing love pretty much every moment. Not 100%, because you're in the body, so you're going to have your off days, but it's easier for you to choose love. You find it's really hard for you to choose fear, rather than it's really easy to choose fear. It's like it's really hard for you not to choose love. And that's where I feel I'm at. Like I just feel it all the time. And I know this is possible for people. I know that. He's shown me that. I believe that. And he's saying, and hey, it's worth trying, everybody, because this doesn't cost anything. We're writing our book because he says he wants to teach people how to do this, and that they can learn it by just reading the book. That was his intention from the beginning. He says that book is going to have the tools that people need, not like we're spelling it out like it's a class, but the process that I went through that I'm explaining. And he's excited about that, because if they call on him, like some people did already call on him, and he showed up and started doing things, he said, then he'll get stronger. He can do more to help people, and more people will step into their power and love themselves. That's really what he wants. He says that's what he's here for. He says that's what we're here for. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. He said that is my life mission that I shared with him, and I wasn't able to understand what that was until he passed. So for me, that was late. You know, when he passed, I was 68 years old. So I'm 69 now. So who knows? You're going to find your life purpose when you're 68 years old. You got to wait for 68 years. It happens when it happens. But that's he's saying. He did tell me I was going to tell the story a little differently today, but that is what he wanted to say, like who he is and what he's here for, and that he already is helping people in our group to make the connection with their loved one on their side. Some of them are feeling it, some of them not yet, but some of them are here right now tonight at this event, and he wants them to know that he is working with their loved ones on the other side, because that's his job too, to help the other side better communicate with their loved ones here, because not all of them find it easy to do that. They're just like in this reality, we're all at different levels of communication, of abilities. You know, we can't say everybody's the same. Well, it's like that on the other side. And some of them just have a harder time making their presence known. But Alan said from the beginning that he was going to teach them who wanted to learn. And he said, he showed me one time, he gave me this vision of just souls lined up like to the infinite horizon. Like, yes, we want to connect with our loved ones on earth. We want to be more involved. We want to help. We want to love them. That's the main thing. We want to love them, because most of them are not feeling loved, or they feel alone, or they feel lost, and we can help them. So he showed me that and says, I'm going to be helping those souls to learn how to reach through the veil. And at the time, I just laughed. I said, oh, you've got to be kidding. You're going to do what? Is it even possible? Well, about a month or two ago, I read a book by a psychic medium who said the very same thing. She said there are souls on the other side who are teaching souls there to communicate, how to communicate to their loved ones in the body, because they don't all have the ability to do that very easily. And I've had other mediums tell me, yes, some of them don't come through very easily, and so they need help. So the medium will often have, I think they'll call it a gatekeeper, like somebody in the spirit world, like one gal has her father help be that person who helps bring the loved one through to communicate better. And says, yeah, see, I told you, they need help. I'm going to teach them over there. That's what I'm doing. But he says it takes time. And on our end here, he's saying I primarily, but he too, we're helping the people in the body to open up to themselves and love themselves more, and clear their issues, their limiting beliefs and their blockages, so that they can raise their vibration to relate to their loved one on the other side, because this is all a vibrational universe, right? So we have to be a match. We have to get at least close enough, not like completely equal necessarily, but close enough within range, so that we can communicate, so that we can feel them and hear them. And it's been such an interesting journey to me, because I didn't realize how important it was to actually feel the other side. I mean, feel his energy, because that's what he told me. He says, focus more on feeling my love, because if you feel my love and you let it in, that's going to set everything else off. But if you are focused on just seeing me, or even just hearing me, it's not going to be as satisfying. But if you feel my love, then that's going to fill you up. That's going to heal you. That's going to carry you through the day. That's going to make me more real to you, because you'll feel loved, not just hear me say I love you, or see me like in your mind's eye, or even clairvoyantly like translucent, which I've seen him translucent. He said, what does that give you? You just see my, me, but is that going to really make you happy? He says, no, if you feel the love I have for you, you'll know I'm real, because you can't make that up. You can't, because I tried one time when he kind of disappeared on me, just one time. And I tried, and I couldn't. That's how he proved to me that he was real, because I tried to conjure him up and I couldn't. And then after that, I knew the difference. He was giving me a lesson on that. That's also in our book. But the feeling of them is very palpable, it's visceral. You cannot deny it. I promise you, if you've ever experienced them, this is not just a visual thing. It can be a total experiential thing of hearing them, seeing them, feeling them, and just knowing that they're there. And he's saying, and in doing that, you begin to understand who you really are, because they're us, right? They're just on the other side. So they're completely psychic, because they don't have any limiting beliefs about it. Once you cross over, you know who you are. You're not doubting it. You're not skeptical. You know who you are. Once you know that you're love, you know the truth, because he says the truth is matching that energy. That is really all there is love. We all just think that, have all these ideas about what truth is. He says all the truth you think is truth is all illusionary, and the only real reality is love. And he knows there's more to it than that. Of course, there's more to life than just say it's just about love, love, love. There's more to it. But really, if you boil it all down to its core, it's really about self-love, love of others, and being loved by somebody unconditionally, for no other reason than that you exist. There's nothing you have to do to earn it. There's nothing that you can do to lose it. It's yours eternally, and it can never be taken away from you or destroyed. And neither can a loved one on either side. You can never lose them. Once they love you forever. Once you have been brought together, you can always stay together unless one of you doesn't want to. But guess what? They want to. They're waiting for us. They're not going anywhere. So he's saying, okay, that's our story, and we're sticking to it. And we're cognizant of the time, because we know we've had kind of a late start, but we want to also do this soul integration for you, and then take questions. So Alan's saying first he wants to stop here for a minute and see if Shaun has something he wants to interject or ask or comment.
I love hearing all the stories. What I was actually just messaging Kelvin, because if he's cooking dinner and listening, just because I wanted him to, if he interject at some point, maybe about what you were saying about the teaching angels, because I think that's really interesting. So many people have this misperception of what the other side is, and they don't realize that
that they're teaching things over there. They're learning.
Yeah,
they're
right.
learning.
Yeah, you don't just they don't just go over and know everything.
Yeah,
Not
you're
all
still
of them,
growing
some
and
do.
learning.
Yeah.
They're still growing and learning. It's just different over there, but they're still learning.
Yeah, and I think that's it.
Yeah,
I don't think I didn't know that. I think a lot of people don't really know that. So I love that.
Yeah.
The other what I would like you to tell about, the person who the drug addicts who committed suicide.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's important for people to understand that. We don't what we see is not always what we think it is.
Right. Appearances are not what they seem to be. So yes, so a good friend of mine, she's the business coach of mine and became a good friend. She messaged me and said that she was in a panic because a good friend of hers had gone missing, and she was worried that maybe it had hurt himself. And I at the time, at least, I didn't think of myself as a psychic medium. I just didn't. It was Alan's, but I just immediately knew exactly what happened. I said, drugs and alcohol. I said, he's gone. Like, he's gone. And I was shocked because I said, I'm saying that? Oh my God, like, is that right? Like, I wasn't sure I got it right, but it just came out of me. It was so clear to me. And she said, that's very likely because he did do drugs and he had been to rehab and that kind of thing. I said, okay. And I hesitated saying that he was dead, but I got, no, he's gone. He's gone. And she, next day, she contacted me and said she found out, yeah, he had committed suicide and that he had been a drug addict. And I said, I'm seeing him right now and he's on the other side with Archangel Michael and Archangel Raphael. And what I'm seeing is that he was an ascended being. He was a highly evolved soul. And he was homeless, he was a drug addict. And she said, Pam, I always knew there was something special about him. So I couldn't understand why he was a drug addict because he was so full of light. He was so different. Why was he a drug addict? I said, because he's here to teach compassion. And she said, he did that. He did that to everyone that knew him. I said, that's what it was. He was here to teach compassion. And when he crossed, he went straight to the archangels. He was said kind of like the red carpet, in a way. He's joking, really. There's no red carpet. But he said, because he was an evolved soul. And Alan says that a lot of them are, not all of them, obviously, but you don't know. The ones who are truly enlightened will come to serve, and they don't care how they serve. It could be there'll be a homeless bum on the road, or there'll be a suburban mother. It could be anything. So he says you have to stop labeling people or looking down at people or looking up at people. And he says some of the less evolved people are the people you think are highly evolved. And they're actually the less evolved, having an interesting experience. So you just don't know. It's kind of like this world is the upside down world, with what you think is real is not real. And who you think is on top is really on the bottom. And not that there really is a bottom or a top, but just that, the way we perceive reality is all like cuckoo. It's like you have it all fixed up. You can't assume anything. You have to tune in and go, oh, okay, this person, is a higher global being than I thought. And not worship them. They don't want that. They don't want to be put on the pedestal. They don't want the attention. They don't want you to think that they're better than you. That's how you know they're enlightened. They see you as equal. They love you, right? They think, well, what are you doing? I'm no better than you. I'm just a little further ahead because I know certain things, but you're my equal. You're divine, right? You're holy. You're sacred. You're blessed. I'm not special. Somebody who's really enlightened doesn't see themselves as special. They're just, he keeps saying they're here to do the work. All they care about is the work. I'm here to do the work. I'm here to serve. And I do it joyfully and happily. And I'm just here to do that until it's time for me to go. He says there are thousands of beings who are serving that way, who've always done that, who've served quietly and diligently, and they'll do it again. So yeah, that was interesting because it came in like this knowing that just landed, and I saw her friend, and it's like I knew who he was. He was coming through really strong because he wanted her to know that who he was and that he was okay, more than okay. He was really in a good place as soon as he passed.
And I just think that's an important story because so many people assume, that they don't realize that somebody may be living their purpose being a drug addict to help us, like you said, to learn compassion and patience. And
teach compassion, to teach being non-judgmental.
Right.
To teach all kinds of things. So
it's important to
know.
So Calvin was just going to chime in just real quick about the angel thing, because I think that is really cool too, that not all angels, when they go to the other side, know what they're doing. And
some of the angels depends how you define angels too. So, it's a very open term. I mean, some of my friends who have lots of communication with the other side, they define any light being as an angel. In other words, your dead grandmother.
Right.
Other people, like some of the angels, prefer to think because they think it's better that to define themselves as we've never been incarnate on physical planet Earth. Now those ones are the kind of the I'm more important than you are humans kind of thing, and I quite frankly stay away from them. I mean they stay away from me, but it's like so
I
there are
agree.
angels. There's a whole. It's like Pam's talking about there are thousands, and Alan's talking about there are thousands. It's true. But there are trillions of angels. So
Yeah.
right.
No,
How many of them are helping people? So there's a lot of them are helping people, but there's a lot of them who are just like on the beach and they're goofing around and they're just like, the difference in the minds on the other side is not that different from this side. I mean, you think about how many people are just goofing off and just getting drunk and whatever. And I'm not saying the angels are getting drunk, but I'm saying that there's a let them figure it out.
I'm going to quote you real quick, Kelvin.
What's that?
And some are trouble. I'm quoting you just real quick.
And some
are troublemakers, and some are lazy, LLL, and some are helpful, some are pushy, and some understand and respect free will more than others.
This. I got upset at Alan because I felt that he was being complacent. I go, hey, wait a minute, you're an archangel. You're being complacent with me. And he goes, wait, I'm keeping some of my human personality so that you know me, and I'm still working through my complacency.
Yeah, he's not perfect.
So I go, okay, exactly.
Alan fully admits that he's not perfect because nobody's perfect, and so that's to me that's the number one.
Right.
Credible thing about because the ones who say, "Oh no, we're perfect," those are the ones you kind of go, really? No. So that's the thing. That's the only comment I wanted to say about that.
No, that's right.
To reinforce what Pam's saying, it's very it's all over the map really, and so when you hear somebody say the way it is, well, that's the way it is for that person's experience. So I'm not denigrating that. That's their. It's just like anything here. Somebody goes to New York, they go to Kansas. Two different places on Earth. That's the way Earth is. It's just like the middle of Kansas.
I know. You just think that's
New York,
right?
New York.
Like the whole Earth is like New York. Like no.
Exactly.
Like
So anyway,
that was eye-opening for me when he said, "I'm still working on my complacency. I'm getting better. Give me a break." And I go, "Okay," because I was really getting upset. Like, you're supposed to be perfect. He goes, "Who told you that?"
Exactly. Well, he fully admitted. I was listening when I was cooking my dinner, which I got to eat, so I'm going to go off.
Yeah, you better go eat.
But he was full. I was listening, so he fully admits that. He was running around, whatever you said, the hospital. He's trying to get the doctors down.
Trying to get them to listen. And
so the thing is, he's working through. He's implicitly saying. He's working through where's the free will, where do I keep the line, where do I put the line? He's saying this to himself, where do I put the line in terms of allowing people to execute and what they, and then where are they implicitly asking for help, and so he wants to step in and help. He's working. That's a gray. It's not a clear line ever. Is it a clear line in your lives? No. So why is it any different on the other side? So there you go.
And then,
we're going to talk about this, Shaun, in my next class, by the way, that you're in. And actually, you're in it too, Pam. So next Saturday. Yeah.
So for everyone that doesn't know, Kelvin is a author and expert in afterlife, and I'll share his website also.
No, I've been a bad student. I've fallen behind, I have to admit, but I'm catching up. I'm watching your videos.
Yeah, you watch the videos, you can catch up. That's no problem. So I'm gonna eat, and then I'll stay on. I'll listen, but I'll come back in a little bit. Okay.
Thank you, Kelvin.
All right. Thanks, Kelvin.
Okay. So are you ready for Q&A?
I'm ready for Q&A, and then we're going to close with the integration because I want people to sit with that at the end.
And I wanted Kelvin because so many people people just think angels are supposed to be one
They're
way.
perfect.
Right. And
Archangel Michael got so angry at Alan. Like I've seen that because he says Alan is like a younger brother that's pesky, right? Like is always following Michael around the other side. And Michael said to me, can't you get him something to do? Because he's driving me crazy. And I showed myself to him how many times when he was in a body and he wasn't interested in listening to me because he wasn't. And now he's like saying, but what about this? And what about that? I was here for you before and you didn't want to talk to me. And now you're bothering me on the other side. And it's just hilarious. And Swati saw that too. My friend Swati, she goes, oh yeah, Michael's like really annoyed with him. And it's okay now. But in the beginning, Alan was like running after Michael, asking him and wanting to be in on everything. And it was so funny. It even appeared in a class that Swati was teaching when she works with Michael, Archangel Michael a lot. And she saw this other angel next to Michael, who was beautiful. She said, oh, amazing, handsome, this beautiful angel. And then all of a sudden, the angel changed and she realized he winked at her. And she goes, wait a minute. And it was Alan. He had changed his appearance. And she said, Pam, if you had seen him, he was so handsome. He was just gorgeous. You would have fallen in love with him. Like, oh. I go, what? She goes, he was so gorgeous. And it was Alan. He just winked at me and disappeared like that. And I said to Alan, I want that angel to show up, okay? Because she said he was like drop dead gorgeous. I go, I want that angel. He goes, I'm not promising you that. Not till you get to heaven. Like maybe I'll embody that, my angel self, that way for you. But it's just been funny this whole journey.
Yeah, and the other thing is, I don't know if has Alan ever cussed, because so my mother, I forgot to mention this. Part of the reason Pam and I are so close is that I have the same relationship with my mother who passed on. And my mother started coming to me about a year before I had my NDE, which I didn't know why. She didn't tell me. But one of the things, many things we have in common is playlists. So my mom has sent music ever since the ICU. And so I have a playlist for my mom with all these messages, and it's quite amazing. Well, Pam has the same thing from Alan.
Yeah,
and so it's fun to, like, most people don't understand. They just, at least for me, I had friends that even called themselves psychic. And then, why are you sending me these songs? I'm all, well, you should know. But Pam, like, she completely gets it and has the same thing.
He was putting songs in my head, like making them play in my head. And he's given songs to other people to give to me. And now we have people in our group who say, yeah, my boyfriend's sending on the other side, sending me songs too. Like it's a thing, okay? Like if somebody is connecting with someone on their side, this is the real thing. I'm getting confirmation that you and I are not the only ones. There are other people who their loved ones are using music to come through to give the message, because there's the lyrics will have a message. And there's an energy, there's love that can come through the music too.
And vibration.
So it's a powerful way for, vibration. Yeah. And it's a powerful way for them to communicate, and one of the easiest ways. So yeah.
But yeah, so they do cuss once in a while. My mom has surprised
your
me
mother
once or twice with not what you would think a human angel would be.
Alan hasn't sworn at me. Because
he
knows I wouldn't appreciate it.
She's just using, no, not at me, but cuss words.
But just
in regards to other people.
Other people, okay. To other people.
Only a few times. But
hasn't done that.
Yeah. So okay, so whoever would like to ask questions, why don't you raise your hand, and we will try to we'll try to look around and make sure that we get everybody who has a question answered. So just, if you know how to raise your hand and go into the reactions at the bottom. Okay, so Mark.
So when you talked about feeling the love, feeling the unconditional love, I just have a question about how do you do that for those of us who have trouble getting in touch with that.
Do you have someone on the other side that you feel comfortable reaching out to, like a loved one on the other side? Could be a grandparent, could be a parent, could be a sibling, it could be anyone.
Yeah, I do.
Okay. So Alan's saying that's one way to open up to them. Okay, and I know you're in our membership academy, right? So and I know you've worked through some of the, I don't want to get too into it because for everybody here to know, I don't want to go into the whole description of that, but he's saying if you can open up to that loved one, he will help you kind of make a bridge between the two worlds to help you connect to their love. Because he's saying that there is that person, somebody else too, showing me, who wishes to just love you, to give you that experience of it. See, because they're the ones that can actually love unconditionally because they're on the other side. It's really hard for people while they're in a body to do that. I mean, it's not impossible, but it's not easily found, right? Otherwise, we'd all feel that all the time. We'd know what that is. So, but it does exist on the other side. So open up to that. And because you're in our membership program, make that your focus for, I don't know if you're doing the 30-day challenge that we're doing in the group, but let that be your 30-day challenge, that you work with Alan on that, because that could turn a lot of things around for you. He says he's showing me a lot, like in capital L-O-T, a lot, A-L-O-T, a lot, turn a lot of things around for you because you're still kind of hard on yourself.
Yeah, that's the other thing, if I can just add, work on the barriers to love. So
right.
all the barriers, being unworthy, if you feel guilty, if you have
feel less than,
yeah.
I can intellectually love, but it's just when you say getting real in the
love
feeling.
But love is not intellectual.
I know that. So that's my question is like, how, I mean, just to be really in the feeling where I haven't really, be able to in touch with that feeling. So I don't have a baseline of that feeling. So I don't know how to get there.
So in the Academy, there's an attunement called the Soul Love Attunement. Have you done that one?
Many times.
Okay, but do it this time and call in your loved one on the other side. And have Alan help you with that. And the only, because he says you haven't really done what I've just described to you, like calling that loved one from the other side to come through and help you. I know that attunement works. The reason I know, because I created it, and our son, who was going through a breakup at the time, this is a long time ago, and my guide said he doesn't really know what soul love is. He was so distraught, and I said, go do this attunement, and he did, and like that, he was fine. He was like, he was fine about the breakup. He wasn't moping about it. He wasn't distraught about it. He was fine. And they were right. He said, that's all I needed. Now you might need a little more, is what I'm saying, but let's call in your loved one on the other side. And Alan's saying, and maybe more than one loved one on the other side, like your ancestors who do love you. Like there's a whole army on the other side of souls that love you, that are related to you. And all they want is to love us. That's all they want. That's all they're here for.
Okay, thanks. I don't want to take up everybody's time, but that seemed more abstract to me, but it's because I don't know my ancestors. So
you don't have to know them. You don't have to know them. You might discover that you start to pick up on them, by this process. You might start, I did, because I started seeing my grandfather, who I never met. And he came through and I was like, whoa. And he said, I've been loving you. I've been watching over you. I'm so proud of you. And I could feel his love, but I hadn't really known him. I didn't know what anything about him. So you don't have to know them, but Alan says, give him 30 days, work on that, and let that be intention that you want to love yourself and you're opening to the love of your family, your ancestors. He says it's there, and he'll help them come through stronger for you too.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Mark. Good to see you.
Who else has a question for Pam?
There you go. Hi, Simi.
Hi. I'm really nervous to ask the question on this platform. I can see how many people are watching the video. I guess I just wanted to ask that, is Alan offering that if we need help, we can invoke him or ask him to help? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let me give you an example, like somebody who just heard about us through a friend who joined our Facebook group. Woman had only joined it one day and told her about us. And she said, there's a couple, Pam and Ellen Johnson. I don't know if Pam is in a body or not. She wasn't clear on what the deal was. She just knew we were a couple. And she said, you know, they're helping people to heal and blah, blah, blah. So this woman who was a psychic medium, she said, oh, I think they're the answer to my prayer. I'm looking for a miracle for my niece's baby who was in a hospital and had coded like 5 times and was not supposed to make it. And she just wanted the baby to have a chance to live. She wasn't sure the baby could completely be healthy, but she wanted the baby to have a chance to live for as long as it could live. So that was the miracle she asked for. And this woman believed in miracles because she'd had them so many times when she asked the angels. So as soon as she heard the story about us, and she didn't know anything about us, she hadn't been to our website, hadn't been to the Facebook group, nothing. But she's the kind of person like, I want it right now. So she said, okay, I'm not going to wait till I get home and get on the computer. I'm just going to be in my car and I'm just going to say, Pamela Johnson, I need your help. Well, she said that. And within moments, he appeared in the backseat of her car because she saw him in her rearview mirror. She's in our book too. She wants her story told because she is so grateful for the help that Alan ended up giving her and the baby, the infant. And so she asked him to prove himself to her because she also believes in asking for proof. Not that she's skeptical or negative. She just says, all right, I want to be sure you are who you are. So she asked him to prove himself to her. And she said, here's what I'm going to ask you to do. I'm going to give you 3 birds and I want you to, you know, show them, like show them in the sky, like as I'm driving, because she's in Sydney, Australia. And the first, you could have one of 3, like it doesn't matter which one, just one of 3. The first one is an eagle. Like you give me an eagle, fly over my car. The second one was a gala. I could be saying it wrong, but it's indigenous to Sydney. Right. Do I got it right? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And then the third one was pelicans. So she goes, okay. And he goes, immediately, an eagle flies over her car. And then she goes, well, that was cool. How about the next one? Okay, 2 galas flew over the car. Okay. So she goes, that was awesome. How about the pelicans? And he paused for a minute. He goes, wait a minute. Well, pelicans are going to be a little hard. She goes, why? They don't really listen to humans. They really don't like to listen to humans. And she goes, you know what? I could see that about them. But he goes, you know what? I'm going to give it a try. So I can't promise, but I'll try. And she goes, all right, that's fair enough. Like you'll give it a try. He ended up hanging out with her for a week in Sydney because she could see him and she could talk to him. So he was helping her to understand who she was because she could see him, right? I mean, he wouldn't do that with just anybody, but because she could see him. And he ended up having her like give her me messages.
Wow.
Like, give Pam this song for our anniversary. Look for a poem for Pam for our anniversary. She was doing all of this for me. And she was also trying to help me to see him. That's all going to be in our book about what she did. It was quite amazing. But anyway, I just want to finish the story about the birds because by the end of the week, I think it was Saturday or Sunday, he brought her pelicans. Okay. And she wanted them close. Talk about demanding, but I want them close. I could take a picture. And he ended up bringing her in total over a period of a couple of days, I guess, 17 pelicans total. Wow. Some of them were high up in the sky, but one of them came down when they were in the swimming pool in the backyard, like came down low and was looking down, turned his head down and looked at her and her sister in the pool, and they were screaming like, oh my God, the pelican. And her sister said, does that Alan do that? She goes, yeah, that was Alan.
Wow.
And she said, and I talked to her recently, this was like in February. I talked to her just a few weeks ago, and she said, you know what, Pam, since that happened, I haven't seen any pelicans. Not that they're readily in our area, because they're not, you know, but it was very, very rare. She says she's maybe seen one far, far away. That was it, but not like 17. So she said, he's she said to me, he is the most powerful archangel. And people just need to understand who he is. They call on him. He can't fix everything, you know, but he did help this baby to live for 6 months so that the infant could connect with the parents and they could actually get married in the hospital with the baby there, you know, in the NICU and all this. It was very heartbreaking, but yet still beautiful, right? Because they could have lost him on the first couple of days because he was, and this is the thing she wants me to emphasize too. Alan said, this baby is going to be called a miracle. Okay. And she said, okay. Well, the doctors did end up declaring that this baby was a miracle because they couldn't figure out why the baby was alive.
Wow.
Because all the, whatever the measurements were, right, that the indicators of his health and well-being showed that he shouldn't be alive, that his brain shouldn't be active. They didn't know what was keeping him alive. And Alan said love was keeping him alive. And that he was trying to help them, the doctors, to figure out, because there were too many weird things going on with this baby. And he said this infant was here to teach the doctors things. And I guess they did learn. And they did end up, the doctors did say, yes, he's a miracle. We don't know how he's here. And also, she had asked me to ask my group to hold a prayer and visualize, you know, positive outcome for him. Just visualize whatever came to them, not to feel sad, not to feel bad or grief-stricken, just to hold a positive outcome of whatever that means. So people were actually visualizing certain things that she later told me, because she saw what they were writing, that they visualized, that manifested. She said that the baby, because she could talk to the baby, and the baby said, that's what I wanted. Like they were getting the image of what he was giving them, that he wanted to help to manifest, because he needed their help. So by them visualizing it, they were helping him to make it happen, because he did get to have the experiences that he had asked for. So she's going to come and do a live with me in the group or something, or a Zoom or something, because she wants to thank everybody and share that. She wants them to know the power of our thoughts or of our visualizations when they're done with love, and that it did allow this little baby to live for 6 months when it could have been gone into. So and the point was that he wanted to make, I feel, there was that it's not how long we live, you know, here in a body, it's that we're here at all. That's the miracle, that we're alive at all, whether we touch down for a second or 10 years or 20 years or 100 years. It's a miracle just to be here.
And who did we love?
Yeah, who did we love? And his life, and he touched so many lives. He touched the lives of all the doctors in the hospital, the people in our group, his family, you know, his parents, right? And he had an impact in his brief 6 months on the planet. And she wants to share the story with our group to teach them, right? To say, this is what you helped him create, helped him manifest, that we manifest for each other, that we can do that.
So
but he was took the light. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, when you're ready, I just, there's a question from the chat that I'm in.
Okay.
Chat.
I hope, I don't know, but did we answer? I don't know if we answered your question.
Simi?
You know, she didn't get to answer your question.
Yeah, well, kind
ahead.
of. I was going to say, Alan's going to be very busy because there'll be a whole lot more people invoking him, and so will you, because you'll be invoked as well.
He wants that. He wanted that. He told me from the beginning. He said, we're writing a book because I want more people to call on me for free. He says, we're going to be helping people for free. Yes, we get paid. Like our private session, we do private sessions, and they will eventually become very expensive because of the time limit I have. But he always said, I want to help people for free. And I wanted people like her to call on us, and never, she did end up having a session with us later, but that wasn't the point. He said he wants people to call on him for free. They have called on him for free. And he wants that to keep going because that's what he's here for. And he says, don't worry, you know, I'll be fine. We'll be fine. He's going to see to it that our book becomes, he says, a bestseller. Okay, dear. Like, that's what he said. He tells my business coaches, oh yeah, I'm going to be famous. He says he's going to be famous. Like,
So like,
all
but
right.
like you've said, so Alan's always free. And so, yes, you can always
Yes.
call on Alan time of the night, but not Pam.
And
You
it's
have to make a
24/7,
reservation,
but not Pam.
a booking. She is not
You
available
have to
24/7.
book- That's what he said. I'm man to help us 24/7, 365 days a year. Pam, you got to let her, give her a break. Like, but he's always there. And I have had people tell me how he's helped them and all that. So yeah, so he wants people to come to our Facebook group where we will always do things for free, always. And that will always remain the same. And then we'll have paid programs, which we have one right now, and have more, but he wants to have outreach. And he said, I don't know if I want to say this because it's kind of like putting out there. When he came back to me, he said, I want 100,000 people in the Facebook group. And I was like, okay, that's doable. I have friends who have that. Okay, fine. Then the psychic in Australia said to me, you do know that that's not really the figure, right? I said, what? It's not 100,000? She goes, no, it's bigger. I go, what is it? 1 million. What? He didn't want to tell you because he thought you freak out. Too late, I'm already freaked out. And he says, yeah, that's right, honey. I want 1 million people in your Facebook group because I want to help everybody. Don't worry, it won't happen overnight, but that's, and he has made everything happen that he said was going to happen. And she told me, and other psychics told me, he's the most determined angel. He's going to manifest it. He was a powerful manifester when he was in a body. He's even more powerful that he's over there. And he's determined. He says, this is what we're here to do. He just wants to help people. And he'll get stronger.
You also do free Zoom and Facebook Lives.
Yes,
Every
we're
couple of
always,
weeks, Sunday.
yes, every other week
afternoons.
or so. Yes. And yeah, absolutely. So that's more, right? Like teaching something, or sometimes we do messages from heaven where we pass on messages, or so forth. But yeah, we'll always do that as well. I love doing those. That it doesn't feel like work to me because he comes in and he merges with me, and afterwards I'm on a high because he takes me up there. He, from the beginning, he was lifting me up, and I couldn't even grieve for the first month. I mean, I was sad, don't get me wrong, but the grief didn't hit for about 6 weeks because he kept lifting me up. And I said, am I going to heaven? What is this? He goes, yes, because you have to acclimate to me, because I'm going to be with you now and we're merging. And so I said, all right. So I would feel I have all this energy, even if I only got 2 hours sleep, because he would just infuse me with energy. He'd go, I've got the reading. Don't worry about it. You just show up. You're going to feel good through it. You're going to feel good after it. It doesn't matter if you only got 2 hours sleep. I'm carrying you. I said, okay. And he did, like, constantly. And I got used to holding his energy. So he said, the idea is that we're merging. Well, we have merged, is what he's saying. And so I'm going to be more, he's going to be more present. Like I'm really grounded. He's up there, right? So it's going to more integrate, where he's more like here and I can be up there, the upper chakras as well. And so it's more full and balanced. But he says we're close to that. We're not there yet, but that's what we're working toward. And yeah, and that my abilities are ramping up. So
It's only been a year. We just, for people
yes,
that don't
it's only
know,
been a year.
Alan's day,
August 6th.
August 6th. Yeah.
Right.
So
Yes, I wait till next year.
and I was
Like,
lucky enough
what-
to get to spend his birthday with Pam. So it was wonderful. And somehow he managed to send that, remember the little birthday cake, which I didn't do, she didn't do.
that was so, yeah, but they sent a birthday cake
They
for
sent
his
a-
birthday, okay, to the table. And I said, wait a minute, I didn't tell them it was anybody's birthday.
And I
know
didn't either.
I did it.
So
And they brought a birthday cake with a candle, and I should have taken a picture, but I didn't. I just ate the cake.
okay, so we have another question, which should probably be the last, so that you can do the attunement. So this is from Batoon, who is driving. So she wants to know, how can we more clearly hear our beloved's messages from the spirit world? One sec.
Well, all right. Well, believe it or not, I had that problem too,
They
even
just
though
say,
I'm
I already
actually,
feel the presence of my spouse on the other side. Yeah, so
okay,
she just wants to know how can
if
she
I
hear
hear,
more clearly?
right, okay. So I know what that's like. I was actually already clairaudient, but you know, when it's your loved one, everything goes out the window because you're emotional and you're like, oh, is that really him? You know, it's different if I'm doing it for a client. So I was not sure, and I thought I'm just talking to myself. That's what you're going to think. I'm talking to myself. And I was asking my friend Swati, who could see him and hear him clearly. So I kept asking her, what did he say about this? What did he say about that? Finally, he goes, would you stop talking to her and just talk to me? Because you'll never learn to talk to me and hear me if you don't just do it. So forget about it. Just talk to me. Talk to me all the time. Just even if you're not sure what I said, just listen to me. Just go all in. So I go, yeah, you're right. Okay. So I just kept talking to him in my mind or sometimes out loud at home. I just kept talking to him and then hearing whatever I heard. And it took time. It took time. And the other thing I will say is if you have resentment of any kind toward your loved one, like I did with Alan, I found out that that was like muffling the communication. I didn't know that. I thought like, well, hey, you know, I'm clairaudient. Why can't I hear it? But it turns out that, and when I thought about later, that made sense. Like that kind of lowered my energy, let's say my vibration, because I was still resentful. And so when I cleared the last bit of it, and it had to do with that complacency thing where I realized, okay, you're still human. All right, I'm going to just have to forgive you because you just can't be perfect, right? And I let go of that. And it was like somebody took the cotton out of my ears. And I go, oh my God. And I said to my friend Maria, who hears him very easily, Alan's coming through differently. And she goes, no, he says, no, he's not. You're hearing him better. Oh, I'm hearing him better. Okay, it's not him coming through. And now it's like, no, stop. He's like talking, and I know that's him, and I know what he's saying, and it's on a whole other level. So it takes time. And I say just keep talking. And the key here, you've got to believe this. You've got to believe that you're hearing what you're hearing. Even if you think it's not 100%, it's never going to be 100% because you're in a body. There's always going to be a little distortion, but who cares? You're going to get enough confirmation in time to prove to yourself that, yeah, that's him or her. But if you don't at least go in and say, I believe this, I'm going to give it a try. I'm going to listen and talk and have a, you know, just believe. And trust me, I know it's hard. I was doing this and saying, am I crazy? Am I doing this? Like, I'm making this all up. I still thought that. And only now it's like so part of my life. It's like, okay, I know you're here. What are you doing? We talk all the time and I hear him clearly. It takes time. Don't think that because I was or am a psychic medium that I'm ahead of anybody. He's told me that because I have to stay really grounded, I have to go slower. And because of our relationship, he says other people could actually go faster. That's what he said, because everybody's a little different. But I have to go slower. Like, for example, I got upset at him and said, how come some souls can like hug their loved ones? Like I've had clients who say, or students who said, yeah, I felt him hug me. And a lot of people actually said that. If you go to grief support groups, a lot of them have said that. I felt my loved one hug me or hold my hand or something. And Shaun has felt his mother grab his arm. I said, how come you haven't grabbed my arm? How can you haven't hugged me? And he goes, because you're on a different journey. You need to learn how to do some of these things yourself. I can't just give you this. And you have to understand that. I would like to, but you're different because I need to help you open up more. Not other people don't have to do that. Oh, okay, that makes sense. So I'm in a way going to take a little bit longer than some people, and other people are going to feel things right away. Also, he's saying, remember, a lot of the population is very sensitive. So they'll feel things. And I'm not as empathic as, say, Shaun is, because you're highly empathic, I know. And other people here are highly empathic. I'm not. He said I couldn't be that sensitive and be grounded and anchor his energy. I had to be more of this world, really, really like here. And I've had other healers tell me, like, whoa, you're really grounded, aren't you? I go, I know. What can I say? You know, I know. And yet I have had otherworldly experiences, but they were rather really unusual, really like out there, like out of body and things like that. But by and large, I'm very grounded. So saying other people will come to it easily, but really it's just trust and believe. Just go all in. This is not something you go, well, I'll see if it works. You have to believe, because you're going to create the experience that you
Well, also
believe
you
you're going to
open
have.
yourself up for more.
Yes.
You're inviting more in.
But you see, if a lot of people have trust issues with other people, or maybe with that loved one, even, you got to let go of all that, because you want the communication. You have to raise up, right? You have to at least feel. He says, feel as good as you can feel, not have any unresolved issue with the person you're trying to reach out to.
Yeah, and
so a lot of times
just asked that, and so I just wanted to clarify real quick. So somebody had asked, what are the blocks to hearing other people?
The blocks can be unforgiveness, that you're resentful, you're still angry. Like I thought like I was fine, and I really did. I thought I was fine, and then one day I went into a rage. Like I go, where is this coming from? Alan knew I was going to hit that. He knew I was going to hit that ceiling of, after the grief and missing him and all that, and feeling happy that he's back, I would hit this wall of rage. And I was swearing at him for 2 days. You're such an a-hole. You did this to me, you did that to me. And Swati tells me, just get it out. You need to get it all out. You know, it's all, and I did. And then I thought I was done, but there still was a little more cleanup to do later. Okay, that's me, because I was married to him for 30 years. And although we had a good marriage, there were some major things that I was really upset about. He knew that. I was upset. He wasn't upset. He turned around and goes, oh God, I really hurt her. I took her for granted. Like, and she was the love of my life, and I didn't treat her like the love of my life. So he knew.
Us from hearing. If we're holding a grudge and we haven't forgiven, and we've got all these grievances, then we're not feeling, we can't feel love. I mean,
we're not up there where their energy is, right? We're not, we have to get close to radiating that unconditional love as close as we can, which they're helping us to do. Because we're still holding on to resentment, which I was. And then the last bit was, I thought, but you're supposed to be perfect and like do everything for me. And I'm not realizing, but I'm still learning how not to be complete. Because then Archangel Michael came in. It was so funny. And he said, Pam, you have to understand, Alan's still lazy. I said, oh God, you're right. He goes, that's who he is. Okay. He's going better, but you need to understand that's who he is. He's rather lazy. All right. Okay. Then I got off of it. Said, you're not trying to hurt me. This is just how you are. And he says, I'm working on it. I promise you, I'm working on it. So,
okay. So
that was fine.
Do you want to do the soul?
Yes. If you guys want that.
I think it would be great. And before we go any further, you're gonna have there's gonna be questions will go all night, as you know.
I know.
So
if anybody,
great.
Yeah, so let's do that. And people, if you're not in our Facebook group, join our Facebook group. Because we do Zooms, and we'll take questions there, and the story continues. There'll be another book after the first book. First book's not even written. We're getting it done, but there'll be more books. And the second book will be about. Go ahead.
Yeah, the website's up there and the Facebook group. I put it
right,
in the chat.
And we have a you can join the wait list for the book. You want to. We're probably going to teach something like a course or something before the book launches. And so if you want to be in on that, it'll be like kind of like a pilot program, like a beta program. So it'll be a really good deal. If you want to be in on it, like get on the wait list, those people get notified, and you can take advantage of that because we want to get really people going. But right now we're busy writing. So Alan says you can't teach that right now. We've got to focus on the book. But we are
Yeah.
going to be helping people. So
Yeah. So
Um,
also just make sure you've signed up for our newsletter because, you know, I'll always make sure to include links to Pam and
Okay.
Kelvin and everything in the newsletter and what they're up to.
right. And you can call on Alan anytime though. Okay. You don't have to come join anything if you don't want to, really. He said the more people call on him, the stronger he gets, the more people he can help. And that's all he cares about, helping more and more people, doing more and more. Okay, so you ready? Are you going to have to close your camera? I don't know. Are you going to have to turn off your video?
Do you want everyone or just me?
No. Just say
Just
you. Like
Put a bag over
you,
my head. Okay. Yes,
Yeah.
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying. I'm
Yeah.
not saying that's going to happen. All right, so everybody, let's just focus now and take a deep breath in and close our eyes. And see, feel, or imagine this beautiful spark of light that is your soul, center of your chest. You could say it's your heart. You see that light grow brighter. Feel the warmth of that light. Feel the love in that light. And just be your soul in this moment. And with each breath you take, just want you to drop deeper and deeper into your soul, into the essence that you really are. Let this be easy. Let this be joyful. And just be. And as you rest in the center of your heart and your soul, if you're in agreement, set the intention to integrate any pieces of your soul that need to be called back to you, that need to be fully embraced. It's time for all of those parts of yourself to come home. Wherever they may have been left through time and space, whether it's this life, any other life, between lives, any other dimensions of time and space, right? Any place in the multiverse. Call all those pieces back. Alan's going to help you bring that back. Your spirit team of guides and angels will help you bring that back. Continue to breathe and allow the process to unfold. You're going to experience whatever is appropriate for you to experience in this moment. As this process continues, see, feel, or imagine the spark of light that is your soul growing brighter, more radiant. See it glow. See, feel, or imagine it even growing bigger and brighter than the sun. Feel the sun filling your body. Feel the sun that is your soul encompassing your body. And just stay with that image, that experience, as your soul is integrated. The energy is weaving around you like these golden threads of energy. Just bringing back all the pieces of your soul, integrating it with who you are today, right now, in this moment. If you're in agreement, set the intention to embody your soul more fully and completely from this moment on. Now, if there's anything that you would like to manifest in your life right now, I'd like to invite you to hold a vision of that when we're in this space of soul alignment. And just let it go. Your soul take that vision. And reflect it back into your reality. Don't have no attachment to when or how it shows up. Let it go, knowing that it's on its way. In the perfect timing. It's appropriate for you and everyone involved. As the golden light continues to weave the energies of your soul tighter and tighter into your field of physicality, you can begin to bring your awareness more fully back into your body, into this room. This energy kind of winds down gently. And take a deep breath in, and on the exhale, come completely back into this tiny space and into your body. If anyone wants to raise your hand and let me know what you experienced, I'd love to hear it. Or just bask in the energy, whatever you want to do is perfect. Nobody wants
Thank
to
you
talk.
so much. Well, I think everyone's probably, well, of course, everybody on the East Coast is passed out at their keyboards.
They- well, even
A
on the
couple of
West
them did
Coast.
that. A couple of them did that last night, from what I hear.
Oh, they passed out on their keyboard. Okay.
She woke herself up and logged herself. She literally logged out and came back. So I thought that was hilarious.
The last thing Hamlet wants to say, that he wants to say about him being an archangel, he wants to make the point that there are many people that are archangels. That in fact, many of you who are watching right now or even later are archangels. And you are one if you're really interested in understanding the soul and your soul, and you feel called to help people to embody their soul. That's what archangels do. They help people to heal and embody their soul. And there's many ways you can do that. We had somebody in the group, this is from the very beginning. She said, I had a dream that I went to archangel school. And then Ellen said, yeah, because you signed up. So go to school. And then we haven't heard from her since. So I guess she did. I don't know. I knew her from before, from another healing modality that we studied. And she's a really cool lady. So maybe she is. Maybe she went to archangel school.
So Terry
But,
has a question. And let me just say
yeah.
real quick from before I lose it in the chat. So Simi said that felt the expansion and the growing in strength of my soul energy. Thank you.
Great, because this is what we're here for. Okay, so if you want to embody your soul, we'll get you there. Alan will get you there. Okay, you don't have to come back to this video. That's what he's here to do. Friend of ours, when I told our friend that Alan had passed away, this friend is a very spiritual person. He helped me so much when I first went to death. He's very psychic, and he said, "Why Alan can't be dead? He was supposed to help with the ascension." I knew that. Why he can't be dead? And I said, "Well, he's helping from the other side." And my friend goes, "Oh, of course, he can do more from the other side." I go, "Right." He goes, "That makes total sense." And so, yeah, my friend says he understands that that's Alan's assignment from the other side. As many other people, we're not trying to say we're special, okay? Like, no, we don't see it that way. We're just doing what we're here to do. But
You're
yes,
here to
the
teach
question,
everybody else.
right, to embody their soul and step into their power. Because hello, the world needs you to step into your power right now. You didn't notice? All hands on deck, everybody. All hands on deck. Whatever you're doing, I don't care what you're doing. It doesn't matter. You don't get out there and be an official light worker healer. It still matters that you're embodying your soul. That's all that matters. He says nothing else matters but being unconditional love. Everything else is just window dressing. Everything else that we achieve is like nothing. You get over there, you ask yourself, how well did I love? How did I serve? Did I love others? Did I let them love me? It's all about that. And he said, "Oh God, I failed." That's what he told me.
Whose lives did I make better?
Right.
Yeah.
He did help a lot of people because he was a healer, a psychic, right? He helped many, many people. But he said, as far as the main relationship, he goes, abysmal failure. He said, I was an asshole. He did say to my psychic friend that he was an asshole. He goes, I was a jerk. He told her that. He said he didn't deserve to be forgiven, but he's so happy that I forgave him.
Okay.
Okay.
So Terry,
One last question.
I made a commitment about 35, maybe 40 years ago and it's a very long story how everything happened, how it's transpired, but the commitment was to love myself unconditionally, to understand what unconditional love meant. And I understand certain processes have come through me to help people. And I still feel inadequate. It's the sense is, who am I to have what looks like a special gift? And I can't quite seem to really embody the love soul or the truth that I know. I know that's the truth beyond a shadow of a doubt. And yet I'm not able to embody it. And when I experience things like your transmission here, I'm not able to stay awake. So I don't even know whatever is said. And I just trust that I get whatever it is that I need.
You got what you need. Alan's saying that for you, there's a lot of ancestral lineage programming around something about around being special. Now, when he's talking about being special, we're not talking about being in the ego, because really we're all special, right? Like when somebody's in their ego, they say, well, I'm more special than everybody else. Like, you know, but it's really, we're all special. But somebody goes, but wait a minute, how can you be special if everybody's special? Well, that's the thing. We're all unique and we're all special. And yet we're all equal, but different. So my guides showed me at the very beginning, they said the source of suffering is holding anything and anything above or below you, because everything is equal. Like it's all equal. It's all perfect, even if it's imperfect. So when you hold yourself below others, that's going to hurt. When you hold yourself above others, that's going to hurt, because really you're equal to everyone and everyone is special. But of course, you look around at everyone and you go, but that person's an idiot. And that person is really mean. And that person, like, wait a minute, how can I, right? But that's what the spiritual path calls for, is being able to see past that illusion of their distortion of who they are as a flawed human being to the perfection of who they are as a soul. And Alan's saying that you've been challenged to see that. And he says you're almost there. So he says, call on him to help you in meditation. He's helped people in so many ways. Like one person said she didn't know how to meditate. She called on Alan and she immediately got into that zone and learned how to meditate. She called on both of us really. And she was able to hold that meditative state for the first time in, I don't know, forever. Like she'd never been able to do that. And she said, yeah, you guys taught me and I could hold the state. Once I held the state, I could recreate it. So he says he can help you hold that, because you're so close there, to hold that state of unconditional love, to know that you're perfect, you're complete, whatever you're doing is amazing. Is it going to be perfect on the 3D world? No, because whatever we do in the 3D world cannot be perfect, but yet it is perfect, right? That's the
conundrum.
The spiritual master has to see two sides of the coin at the same time. But the human person is like, oh, how do I do that? But so to be of this world and not of this world, to be on both sides, but you can. So he says he'll help you because you're almost there, where you can see your greatness, but your greatness doesn't take away from anybody else's greatness, or it doesn't mean that you're superior or that they are superior to you. And I know what you mean, and I've struggled with that myself. And I will say, since Alan came back, I have feel so completely different. I know who I am. I'm confident of who I am, and I can allow everybody to be who they are, and I don't compare myself ever to anybody. And I know it's all perfect. Whatever they're doing is perfect. It's not about me. I don't compare. And I know my greatness and I know their greatness, and see the God in them like I see it in myself. And it's so liberating to finally live that way.
I see theirs, I don't see mine. And my second commitment was I had polio at 12. And then at 46, I allowed the medical establishment to put Teflon in the one vocal cord that I had left. And that sent my body completely off on this spiritual journey
Yeah.
that was like so topsy-turvy, and I so far haven't been able to. I'm going to call on Alan for some help.
Yes,
because
he says, can you please rephrase that to say, I'm in the process of coming through this, overcoming this. I'm in the process of breaking through this. Okay, just say that. Don't say what is, just say I'm in, even though you're not there, just say I'm in the process of turning, because he said you're a master healer. That's why you came in to have these challenges. You really wanted to take on a tough assignment. He said, I'm going to get polio, and then I'm going to have this thing happen, and then, you wanted, yeah. He says you're more ahead of the curve than you understand. Not that you're looking for any pat on the back or something. He's just saying he wants you to understand that you're far greater than you give yourself credit for. Again, not that you're looking for that kind of acknowledgement, but don't hold yourself down and think there's something wrong with you. He keeps saying to me, master healer, master healer. I want you to activate the master healer within you, because you have that. You can do that for other people. He says you have done that for other people. Right? You have done that for other people. You can do tremendous things for other people. He's showing me that. He says that's time to give that to yourself. He's going to help you turn around to give that to yourself. Because it's time. You put other people like first, like I'm going to give that out. I'm going to help those people. But he says it's time to bring that all to yourself. And he's showing me 12. So I think this is 12 months. I wish it would be shorter. I think it's 12 months, maybe sooner, that you can really turn this around. So he wants you to kind of, I don't know. All right, he's putting pressure on me. He says, mark the day on the calendar, 12 months, and I'm going to start turning this around and just expect the improvement. Maybe sooner, but yeah, but he's showing me 12 again.
Could be 12 days.
I was asking if it was 12 weeks, and he goes, just know that it's coming and that he's with you on that. And he says, you're psychic enough to hear him. He loves it when people are aware enough that they can hear him, because he is loud. Okay, he's loud. And my friends who talk to him, they go, yeah, God, he's loud. So he says, I'm loud on purpose because some average people, may not think they hear me. And by the way, guys, he says, you guys can all hear spirit. Right now, everybody, you just don't believe it. He says, that's the thing. Not that you're not hearing. You just go, oh, that's me. No. He says, you're talking to the doctors in the hospital, and they're just thinking it's themselves too. And he goes, they're hearing me. They all heard me.
And like we were talking about earlier today, it's the first thought that comes in your mind.
Yeah.
But then the ego or whatever, all those false beliefs, talk it out of it. It's like, just remember the first thought that comes in your mind. You think it's whoever it is. Yeah. Don't talk yourself out. It is.
He says the veil's pretty thin right now, and we're taking it down. We need your help to take it down. So call on Alan, because that's how we take it down, folks. We take it down by you opening up to the other side and realizing I can talk to the other side. So if you talk to the other side, they can talk to you and you can experience them. What does that mean? The veil just starts to thin, right until it just falls down. Does that mean everybody's going to see the dead people? No, it just means more of us will talk to them, more of us will feel them, and then it'll reach critical mass. And then, yeah, maybe everyone will, or we're just going to be in a different reality from everybody else. He says he's not saying which of that's going to happen, but that's how the veil comes down. Because you notice that more people are opening up psychically. We all see that. It's time. This is part of who we are.
More people are having near-death experiences.
Yes.
Than at any time in the past. So
right, and even if they don't and even if they don't become completely enlightened because of their near death, they realize there's more to this world because they touch the other side. But everybody can touch the other side. This is what Alan's trying to say. It's not like you have to have a near death to experience the other side, to experience the unconditional love that's there for you from loved ones on the other side that can transform you. Contact with someone in heaven, like I've had with Alan, can be a spiritually transformative experience. Because I went through a second of that experience with Alan when I had mine originally, like in 1987. But when he came back, it's like, he put me through all these changes. And he said to me, "You're going to look younger." And I was like, "I don't think so." And then my friends were saying, "Pam, you look younger. You keep looking younger." I go, "I don't know how he's doing it." He goes, "It's the love." He says, "It's love. Love will keep you young and vital and healthy. And everyone can receive that love and feel that way." But that's what it is. It's self-love and the love, right, that you give out and the love that you receive. It's that love that is really he says the fountain of youth is love, which kind of makes sense, I think.
And that's really the most important message. It doesn't matter if you see dead people, as long as you feel the love. It doesn't even matter if you can hear them, as long as you can feel their love.
Exactly. A lot of psychic mediums don't see them. Some well-known ones, they don't see spirit. They hear them because you really need your clairaudience to talk to them, but they don't all see them. So I'm saying some people don't want to see them. They're like, "I don't want to see all the," because some people see spirits so vividly that they look 3D. They see, this is why I know it is possible to see in 3D, because other people do. They already do. And they have trouble differentiating between, is that really a person in the body, or is that person not in the body? Because they can't tell till they literally touch them. Like, "Oh yeah, that person's dead." My hand went through them. Okay, so we know that happens for people. So why can't other people have that? The question Alan's saying is, do you want to have that? Not like, is it possible? Like, do you want that, everybody? Or you can see them in your mind's eye. He says that's probably safer for more people. And it's completely accurate. You don't have to see them like 3D or translucent.
That's the other thing. If we're in fear, it's going to make it hard to hear them or feel them.
Yeah.
I know that for me, my mom was the first one, and it's because she knew it had to be her, because anybody else, I would have flipped out. So, and when she made it clear, when she grabbed me, I knew it was her. You know your mother's touch. You know when your mother's grabbing your arm, even if she's passed on.
I'm looking at her.
Yes, we're getting lots of. Thank you, Simi.
Thank you, Pam.
Oh, you're welcome, Terry. I hope that helped. And I hope it is like 12 days or 12 weeks, but Alan says it'll be what it'll be, but he's there for you. So, and I don't know if you're in our group, but if you want to join our group, he makes me post in there all the time. So sorry, everybody's in the group. Like, because sometimes he'll just tell me what he wants to write. And I've been doing that the day after he left. He said, "Form a group. I want you to share a story. I want you to write down things." And a lot of things that are in the book are things that he said to me about me, or about whatever, just things he wanted to share. And that's what's in the book, along with my kind of explanation of what I went through with him. But he said that we were writing the manual, because nobody wrote a manual yet about after death relationships, I guess. People have had them. I know that because I've read at least a few books by people, but it wasn't as detailed as our book is going to be. It's going to be like really like touch, pretty much show you everything, which is what I did in the group. I don't hold anything back. I told him that from the beginning, if we're going to do this, I'm going to be completely vulnerable. I'm going to tell my story. I'm going to share everything, because what's the point of doing this? Because it's not going to make sense. I have to be real. So it's all going to be out there, including a chapter called Supernatural Sex, which Shaun teases me about. But
yes, and we're still on Facebook, so don't get us our rating.
I'm not. You can say sex on Facebook. Come on. Don't tell me you can't say sex on Facebook.
I'm just kidding.
But I know you're just kidding. but it's, yeah, I'm sharing everything because we want people who feel guided to create this, to reach out like this, to do that so that the veil will come down. And really just being selfish. I want to see more of Alan, although he promises me I will anyway. But I want to take more people with me because it's just more fun to have a community to say, hey, what did your partner, what song did he send you today? Like we have in our group now with people joining that are having the same journey, right? That are seeing their partner or getting messages or getting songs, getting all kinds of things, getting gifts from them, all kinds of things that you guys would not believe if you want to join, just to get inspired to see this is real. The other side is real. They're reaching out, they're making contact. They want to help us because they know that this planet is just falling apart and we need heaven now more than ever. I think nobody would argue with that. And that world, okay, let's say, that world, by the way, is the real world. This is the fake world. This is the world that is a projection of the real world. So when we die, we go home to the real world. That's why we are there eternally, right? But we come here to have this experience. This is like he says it's like a theme park. We come here to ride the rides and have this crazy journey, but we go home and that's our real home. And you're still there. Part of you is still there. So you go back and feel it and connect with it, then you come back in here. And I've experienced that. I've experienced going back to the side with Alan. And if you start to understand that this is the unreal world, the fake world, the other side is the real world, then I think you can lean into this idea that you can communicate with someone on the other side, because that's the real world. It's the real world. And
we're all going home. Nobody's going home alone.
Yeah.
And so we're all here to help walk each other home, remind each other, hold the light on for each other when somebody falls, when somebody forgets that they're every bit as worthy of unconditional love as anyone else. That's our job. All of us that went as light workers or NDEers or whatever, any one of us who have gotten to experience the real world and reality, I believe, is we're here to help everyone else. And that's why I'm so glad that Pam and Alan are here tonight, and that because that's what they're doing.
And I want to thank Shaun, because since he's come into our life, everything just like literally the day that you, I think, text message, yeah, I'm saying text message me. I was signing with my publisher. We're self-publishing our book only because first of all, we know that publishing houses are going down the tubes, okay, and you don't really make any money, and they have you do all the work anyway. So you have to do it all yourself anyway. You just don't make any money. What's the point of that? But why had to invest money? Alan actually manifested the money. It's still tight for us financially, but he manifested the money out of his pension, and I'm investing in publishing the book so get to market faster. And the people that we're working with totally understand what we're doing, totally supportive. They can't wait for the book to be out. Everybody in the publishing house that we're with, they want to read the book. She said everyone in house wants to read, even the people not helping you. They say, I want to read that book. That sounds fascinating. So we're doing that, and it's due to come out in the spring. And I'm on a deadline, a writing deadline, which isn't that hard to do because this guy keeps telling me what to write and what to share. But if you want to hear more of all that, it's all in our group. Everything that's in the book, if you went to our Facebook group and you had the patience to scroll like all the way down for a year, you'd see almost everything that's in our book. Just post. Like every day I'd post like 2 or 3 things. And a lot of those things are being put in book. Some of them aren't going to make the book because there were over about 200 posts, if not more. So they're not all making it to the book. But everything in there was true, like what was happening, what he was saying, what miracle occurred, or or what I was upset about, or what have you, what he taught, all in there. And he wanted it to be there as evidence in real time. This is what happened. This is what went down. This is the reaction it got from people that were in the group. They're very much a part of our story. So people know this is real. It wasn't like something I just cooked up. It it was like going down as he died, as he came back, as everything started to happen.
Well, and that's the other thing people see in the group, because they see other people that have met Alan, and Alan's appeared and Alan's helped them in different ways. So real people are in your group.
Yeah, right.
That are yeah. So that's
That are hearing from him now. I mean, there's so many stories. It's just like,
yeah. You can watch
almost
Pam's video birthday party and other things and hear stories of
we
how
got married. We got married again. Somebody watched our wedding video and said they got a healing. I love that. I go, oh, that's cool. You got a healing. Yeah, I got a healing watching your video. Well, that was our intention, to give a healing. It's all kinds of things. He says he wants to show the world that we're, he said, I want to prove that we're immortal. Oh, that's all you want to do? That small little goal? You just want to prove that we don't die, that we're immortal? He goes, yeah, it's time. I'm not dead. Nobody dies. I want to prove that. And we're all God, and we can all create what we want. And he also said, we don't understand that they see us as actually potentially having more than they do. Because if you could expand your consciousness and embody your soul, and which is basically what you do when you go home, right? That you embody your soul, your unconditional love, and you're in a body, because then you have it all, because they don't have a body. How many times he said to me, God, I wish I had a body. I wish I had a body. I'm trying to order something from you and Swati's not cooperating. She's closing the laptop on me. She won't cooperate. If I had a body, I could order it myself, but I don't have a body, Pam. But if you open up to who you really are, you are in a body, he says, you'll have it all, because they don't have a body. So you can be in this world and still, have everything, create everything. As places as possible.
And so appreciate the life that we have, because we're very lucky. There's so many, all the spirits want to be in the body.
Oh yeah, we line up to come down here.
Yeah, and so we're gratitude. That's the other thing that helps you get in touch with the unconditional love. Be grateful that you're here, grateful that you're alive and can breathe, and gratitude, I think, is really important to help.
Yes, gratitude. And that's why I'm grateful to you, Shaun, because you, like I said, I signed up with my publisher. It's like, off to the races, Alan said. Like, oh my God, what have I done now? Like, okay, and now the book is really coming together, and now you started, I don't know, we started doing more.
She was just doing her own little thing here. I didn't even know her. She only lives 2 miles away, and she's doing her own little thing. And it's like, wow, how did we not meet?
I know.
Perfect timing.
Exactly. And Alan said, I'm a powerful manifester, and then so are you. So we're going to manifest for ourselves and for others. It's not just about us, because, we're all in this together. So, so if you're in alignment, then anything's possible when you're in alignment. And I've seen that, like, miraculous things.
And you're experiencing that way. That's why everything is going together for your book.
Yeah. And it can
books,
for all of
everything.
you too. This is not just about me, or, it's really getting aligned with your soul and loving yourself truly. You are never judged for anything. It doesn't matter what you did. And whatever somebody did to you, that just meant they lacked love, or they wouldn't have done what they did. And you know that when you go home, you understand why people did what they did. And it just, you let it go. Well, why not let it go now and go free?
Okay, so can you take one last question?
Yeah. Neil.
Janelle was late, and so she has a question.
What? You're late, girl? How come you're late?
Did have a question in regards to what Alan might have to share with us in regards to light language, and what he feels the purpose of channeling light language is. If he's ever discussed that with you, has that ever come up?
No, he hasn't. I have a good friend who does light language, and he's experienced it himself through her. He says he says he's very impressed with it. He says, like anything with channeling, it depends on the person, right? Depends on the individual. So he says he's all for it. He thinks it's amazing, but it's going to vary, but just like any form of channeling. So he says it's interdimensional and it can be amazing, but it really depends. Our friend, yeah, she's on a whole other level. But everybody is, right? So, but he's saying he's impressed with it. He likes it. And if you're into it, he says, go with it, like for sure.
Okay, because of what I receive is that it's a based on a vibration. It's not necessarily words, but it's like each vibration is a
it's like not the words
gestalt of, it's like a gestalt of information that is stemmed from that one vibration.
Right.
So it comes out like it's all jumbled, but it's actually massive information through vibration.
Right. It's like a download. He says it's not the word. That's why it's not words. It's just yeah. He says you know what that is, and people will be drawn to it to resonate with that.
So what's your other thing, just really quickly? If you have an invite for her, I'd rather do it later.
Oh, okay. Well, no, well, she's got time anyway because her book's not out. So we'll just leave that as a
well, you and I can talk later. You and I can talk later.
Yeah, only just since we're going so late, I want to be conscious of everyone's time.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, thank you, everyone. Thank you so much, Pam.
Thank
and
you.
Alan,
thank you, everybody who
for
came.
everybody who stayed awake, and for Jack and
Is Jack
Susan.
still here?
Yeah, Jack's still awake. He's in New Jersey.
Gosh.
And Susan Hubbard, if she's still here, and Deborah just took off. Thank you everybody on the East Coast who stayed up with us.
Thank you everyone who came, really.
Yeah, it was really an honor. Thank you.
Really.
Talk to you all soon. And hopefully you've signed up for the newsletter, or so that you can come on Tuesday to our workshop, because it's going to be amazing. And I really think it's going to be wonderful.
And if anyone does want one-on-one sessions, we do have a limited number of them still available, so you can book it through our website. I'm not really pushing it hard because I got a book to write, but people are contacting me and want sessions, and we're here to help. But you can call on Alan.
Well, yeah, you have 8 slots a week, right? So 8 slots is what you...
No, I only have 4.
Okay, 4.
I used to have 8. I used to have 8 when he was really working me hard.
So there'll be a waiting list.
No, it's not that bad right now, but it could get bad.
Yeah.
I think sometimes.
Okay.
We're just saying, but we're always going to be available. But okay. But thank you, everybody. Thanks, Shaun.
Thank you so much. Have a great night, and we'll see everybody hopefully Tuesday.